So let's move on. So let's start our exercises. First of all, get what is in this Dropbox folder. Here you will find all of the slides and an e-space with the exercises. Additionally, you should use your personal environment to do these exercises. Let's move on to exercise 1. And as soon as you are done with exercise 1, do some stylization. The last slide of the previous section has an example of what you can change. When you are done, let's move on to exercise 2. So hopefully you have already finished exercise 2. So let's see how could we solve it. So the first thing on the first part, we could only change the CSS, and we could see that here we have title exercise 2, which is this class is not defined. So if we wanted it to have the same style as title exercise 1, to apply the same style to several selectors, comma, and the class. Oh, it wasn't applied. Why? Because for it to have to be a class, you need to have a dot before. And now you can clearly see that it's fixed and we didn't have to change any HTML. In this part here, we had to change the second paragraph, this one, the second paragraph to this color. Okay, and the tip here was to notice the HTML structure. And if we come here and take a look at it, we see that this is the inner that is defining the color red, and then we have a div. So what we need to do is actually come here, say inner, and then we are going to select a div that it's inside that inner. This one is selecting all these, but we only have one, so, and we are going to do color green. Here we go. And as you can see on the back, it's already done. Finally, the last part was for us to, this should be the end result of this side, and we had to create the HTML for it to happen. So the first thing is, let's take a look how things look. So we don't have any HTML, and let's take a look into the CSS. So on the part 3, we have here, okay, div node width 400 pixels. So this is apparently the body. So the first thing that we are going to do is to add the node body. Okay, the next thing is the first div is going to have a given style, which is background color light blue. So light blue, okay, so it's the box content. So what we are going to do is isolate this on a div, pass it there, and the first one is actually already transformed. Okay, it's looking good. Then the second one, it's a div that is inside a node, and it has the class node body. So let's actually create that. So a new, oops, not this what I wanted to do. I wanted to add a div actually here, and we're going to move, and this would be the node body. Okay, the node body, and then the first div, and then it has two divs apparently, the body, or at least two divs. So the first div would be light gray. Okay, it's the first part of the text, so let's isolate that first part, and let's put it on the node body. Oh, here you go. And then the second one would be isolated as well in a div, and it would be inside the body. So if we take a look, although this image is resized, it's exactly the same look and feel. So what we did here was to look to the CSS and understand what we needed to do in order to achieve that. And for that we had to build the HTML for that CSS structure.